Today is September the 25th, 2022. My name is Charles Suter. Today I'm presenting a synopsis of a book called Do It Anyway by Kent Keith. The message that I'm presenting today is anything of value worth doing is worth doing anyway, despite any objections or excuses you might have developed for why you shouldn't do it. The book Do It Anyway, written by Kent Keith, is focused on what he calls paradoxical commandments, of which there are 10 listed in his book. This presentation focuses on 3 as an example of how to rise above your excuses and do what is right anyway. The author's intent was to help people live by their values and not by their excuses. Too often, people know the right thing to do based on their personal values, but fail to do so for so many unsound reasons. The author's advice is to take action when you discover a purposeful opportunity that meshes with your values and do it anyway. Even though the outcome is uncertain and perhaps temporal, which means temporary. The important thing for living a meaningful life is to focus on what you can control, which are your inputs or what you can do, and to disregard concerns for the outcome, which you may or may not be able to control. Proposition 1. First of all, people may not agree with what you do. People may not understand your good intentions and purposes. Therefore, miscommunications and disagreements and conflict are a possible result. But you must take every opportunity to act on your good intentions anyway. You cannot control how other people will regard your actions, or whether your outcomes will be valued or not by others. But it is still important for you to act anyway, so long as you believe it is the right thing to do and reflects your values. Public opinion is the wrong criteria for judging the appropriateness of your actions after you've decided what needs to be done. Too often, people talk themselves out of doing what they consider the right thing due to the fear of social disapproval, but do it anyway. Proposition 2. What you create, even if you're successful, may not last, but do it anyway. All good outcomes have their moment of utility before they are washed away by time. Success is never meant to stay, but simply the means to something else, something new. All traces of success may only last a day, or less than that, but do them anyway. As I've said, nothing lasts forever. Even if you succeed in creating the outcome you intended, it may not have the durability or even the utility you expected. While you cannot predict the future, control how events will eventually turn out, or how long they will last, you must act on your values anyway. Do not allow yourself to be persuaded by the fear and uncertainty of the results you might get, but act anyway, so long as your actions reflect your values. Proposition 3. Even though you may do your best and still fail, do it anyway. Neither the sweetness of success or the sting of failure is permanent, but you will have the satisfaction of knowing that you did your best anyway. Failure leads to knowledge of how to begin again another day, so there's always something to be gained, even if you don't reach full success. There is always a risk that your best efforts will not succeed in creating the outcome you intended. You may provide all the inputs under your control and still find out later that there were other factors required to gain your desired outcome that were not under your control and that you were unaware of. You can't know everything at the very beginning. Even failure brings results and experience and lessons learned. So you must do the right things anyway, just to be who you are. Now, my final message. You must face the challenges of the world with the best of yourself. When you know the right things to do, even though there may be doubts as to how the outcome will turn out, If you're acting on your values, it is right that you should do it anyway. Finding personal meaning through the exercise of your beliefs and values is the real key to happiness. By doing the right things, whether you succeed or not, you will gain happiness from, number one, the joy of doing what gives your life value, and two, the satisfaction in knowing you did the right things anyway, despite the prohibitions, risks, and uncertainties, and doing so to the best of your abilities. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.